G'day ladies and gentlemen, and welcome back to Aussie Starcraft, where we are super psyched at last to bring you some more sweet Starcraft 2 action. I know it's been a little while since we've seen anything on the channel, and there's lots of reasons for that, and I'll run over those in a few minutes. But just to kick things off, introducing our players, in the bottom left hand corner is our blue Zerg player. You know and love him, it's LiquidTLO. In the top right hand corner, as our orange Zerg player, it's going to be AcerBly. So this should be a fantastic ZvZ. It's from the Go4SC2 online tournament. Took place just a little while ago. The map is of course Overgrowth, quite a commonly and well played map. It's been in the pool for a little while now, so we'll be seeing a ZvZ here today, and these two no strangers to playing off against each other. We've seen this matchup before on the channel with Bly and TLO duking it out at the Go4SC2 Arena, another similar online tournament some time ago. So curious to see how exactly things match up in this game, and what they have in store for us today. As you can see here from the new overlay, we are using the new GameHeart WCS overlay, and it is very sleek and nice to use. So we've just been spending a little bit of time getting used to new hotkeys and all of those sorts of things. So hopefully we'll be able to bring you just a little bit better quality productions here at Aussie Starcraft. So testing things out. If we get the hotkeys wrong from time to time, you know, it's just a bit of teething problems, but I think I've got more or less the hang of it. As we can see, the production tab, it's down here rather than the top left, and we have a hatchery on the way from LiquidTLO. He's going to be throwing that down the low ground. On the other side of the screen, we can see that Bly is going for a spawning pool first opening here. So a little bit more aggressive out of Bly, whereas TLO quite often will go for the rather gasless opening quite quickly, grab that first expansion and try and hold it with the queens and clever walling techniques. So we'll see just who this sort of approach favours. Bly tends to be quite aggressive in his games. We can see him going for that gas now, same time as TLO, and it's relatively similar if you look at the production tabs, almost identical for both our players. Of course, queens for Bly are going to be coming up just a little bit quicker based on the fact he was a pool first opening, whereas TLO, when his pool completes, will probably drop both his queens almost simultaneously. 3 in the gas for both our players. They're going to be mining to get that Zergling speed. Very important in a ZvZ matchup to get that speed nice and quickly, otherwise your opponent will run rings around you. And looks like they should be able to get it at relatively similar times, as opposed to other matchups, for example Protoss or Terran, where you can elect to do a slightly longer gasless opening. In a ZvZ, really can't afford that luxury. So you can see TLO has both his queens on the way. Bly is going to be producing a second queen out of his main hatchery, and actually throwing down a evolution chamber in behind his mineral line. I'd actually thought that was going to be a roach warren, so very cool to see. Now, for those of you who don't know how to access the GameHeart overlay, you can actually use it in a public test realm for your own games. Oh, a little bit of Zergling harass, but they're going to be chased off by the queen. As I was saying, you can use this GameHeart overlay in your own custom games. So if you're setting up or organise any small online tournaments, a lot of fun to use. Gives you all of the qualities of a professional production, and it's just excellent work has been made on this to make it just the highest quality production possible. Bly actually going for quite a quick +1 missile range upgrade along with his roach warren. TLO similarly grabbing his first evolution chamber just down here at the front of his base. We're also going to have Zergling speed finally starting up for Bly here on the right hand side of the map. So interesting little scout there from TLO, managed to make it right up into the base. Overlord spread out similarly from both players, just trying to keep an eye on those third base location, get an idea of when our players are dropping those. We check out the units lost tab, you can see a few Zerglings lost for TLO, but TLO also having managed to squeeze out just a few extra drones at this point. So overall, relatively even game here. And ooh, if I can just get that to go back to what I wanted it to be on, there we go. So hotkeys are a little bit different to what we've cast for the last 300 videos, so we'll take a little bit of time. Now the other thing that's caused a bit of delays, I had a serious throat infection for a few weeks, and so was unable to do a whole lot, but that's clearing up quite nicely. I had a bundle of tests done and the doctors think they've fixed it, so hopefully there'll be a steady stream of videos on the channel. I have a lot of content I want to catch up on, both Starcraft 2 and some other fun games we've been playing, so hoping to bring that to you very shortly, so watch this space as there will be plenty going on. The TLO and Bly both producing a few roaches, though Bly's roaches that have moved out across the map will be substantially outnumbered by the time they make it to TLO's base, and so very likely Bly will need to pull back. TLO's seen those moving out. These overlords giving him great vision as they move around the map. Looks like he may actually choose to pick off those rocks. Third base is going down for each of our players. TLO's slightly behind Bly's, but not anything that you would particularly notice or be would play a large factor in the game. Just a moment or two there. See in the production tab, roaches continuing to be produced by both players. Actually got Burrow from TLO. I really love TLO's Burrow roach play. His micromanaging with them is fantastic. He'll sneak a few into each base and let all hell rain loose while the engagements are running on in other places on the map. Of course, very important to be mindful of that. Have a few overseers yourself. We have the roach speed upgrade coming from both our players here, as you can see, halfway completed in the roach warren now. And roach numbers still going to be favouring TLO, 91 supply to 88. Not only a narrow lead, but one that nevertheless could be important as the games progress. Both these players sort of dancing around each other. TLO going to be a little bit sneaky here, morph an overseer so that he can save this overlord. Going to catch sight of these drones that are transferring, or this overlord will just complete in time, meaning that he will be able to get out of here, get a full scout off. We can see Bly actually laying a bit of a creep highway between his main and his third. I really like that choice. Whereas TLO with the slightly quicker second queen is allowing him to do that with creep tumors. Slightly bigger concave from Bly here. TLO going to be forced back as these roaches of Bly are coming out in quite substantial numbers. TLO continuing to produce those few overseers on the way for Bly now. And trying to sneak a few roaches in there. Unfortunately, TLOs do get picked off, and now the roach numbers, well, still TLO with a slight supply advantage, but losing a few extra roaches there. Continuing to try and get these roaches into those mineral lines, of Bly doing a great job of splitting up his forces. Looks like Bly is going on the aggressive here. There's quite a substantial horde of roaches here from TLO, with a few more burrowed to regenerate their health. Looks like Bly will be forced to beat a little bit of a retreat. TLO getting a slight edge in this game as he continues to edge out that supply advantage. Bly producing a swell as well, along with an infestation pit. I like this choice from Bly to mix things up. It'll fix the fungal growth from the infestors. We'll fix those roaches in place and add a nice bit of splash damage to really give an edge in the engagement. If we look at the upgrades tab, we can see it's 2-1 in favour of Bly, though 2-2 just finishing up for TLO then. Hence why Bly was moving out, really trying to get an edge in that engagement while he still had an upgrade advantage. Moving out again, we have pathogen glands on the way for the infestors, along with burrow movement, I believe, for TLO. I thought he'd grabbed that earlier. It looked like he only had burrow, not the burrow movement, so going to be able to sneak into those mineral lines hopefully, and throwing up a bit of static defense too. I like these choices. That'll help keep his third base safe from counterattacks. If you're wondering why there's a space here, it's easy for the queen to hide and protect a little bit of its frontage from things like zerglings as they swarm around. If you allow the queen to get surrounded, it will die very quickly. On the other hand, if you position it between buildings, as Bly is doing here and as TLO is planning to do here, makes it a lot easier to keep the queen alive and dish out DPS. Ooh, nice contaminate there. Is going to delay that pathogen glands for quite some time. TLO on the other hand, not changing up his tactics at all here, continuing to produce the roach sledgehammer here, and it's moving towards his third base. Going to get a great concave here as Bly tries to establish his own. A few infestors here, and the infestors actually walking into roach range. They're almost getting picked off. Going to be forced to throw out some infested Terrans as that pathogen glands upgrade just not ready in time. TLO doing a lot of damage here, but Bly with a little bit of a wraparound here. A few roaches behind going to be doing damage, but TLO rapidly trying to reposition, losing the battle on the bottom side, but very much winning at the top. Going to have a few of these roaches burrowing, regain enough health, and it looks like TLO might just edge out the advantage here. More roaches on the way for both players. Unfortunately for TLO, it is quite a substantial travel time for his reinforcements. They're going to be forced to fall back here, trying to micro and pick off a few of those roaches. It looks like Bly's reinforcements will arrive first. TLO's continuing to stream out across the map, but 145 supply to 103, it's very close as both these players try to get work done. The question is, when will one of these players deviate from this tech choice? We have Bly having pulled out those infestors and managing to preserve them through that engagement, which is very important. If we look at the units tab, we can see it's 34 roaches to 26, which is substantially in favour of TLO. Extra roaches popping now from Bly is going to make it even with those infestors giving him the edge. So TLO though with another 17 roaches in production, and this is quite common of what we see in a ZvZ nowadays. If you're not careful and deviate too quickly from the tech choice, it can cost you the roaches and eventually the game. So TLO here microing quite a few of these roaches. You can see the burrow micro as they regenerate that health, keeping lots of these roaches alive, and TLO managing to really get an edge here as he continues to micro these units well. We see him saving an extra roach here, an extra roach there, and it's really starting to show. As we can see, it's a 165 supply to 140, and it is very reminiscent of the ZvZ meta. Nice fungal there, but unfortunately not going to catch enough of these units, I think, to swing the tide. 170 supply to 135, and it looks like Bly may well pay the price for deviating for those infestors. May have gone just a little bit premature, and TLO seizing the advantage here to really drive his point home. We have a few roaches in the production line, going to be healing those up, catching these roaches that are trying to flank, and Bly's reinforcements just not going to be enough as TLO continues to damage the economy of Bly's third base and stream reinforcements over here willy-nilly. We have another 20 roaches popping out, several which should be at this base. Unfortunately caught by TLO's units there, and Bly will GG and tap out of that game. So I hope you guys enjoyed it. First game back in a month. I hope you're as excited as I am to get into some more sweet StarCraft action. There is going to be a stack more of it on the channel. If you've got any games you'd like to see cast, please let us know. We are in a little bit of a lull. There's a couple of weeks before things like Home Story Cup kick off, so we'll be casting some of these games from Go4SC2 and some other fun things that have been around, and probably continuing a few tutorials and bits and pieces as well. Obviously we've got some Heroes content to cast as well, and some other great games that I'd like to show you a little bit of a preview for. Things like Civ Beyond Earth and other games have launched, so I look forward to doing a few previews for those of you who haven't picked them up just yet. So this is Aussie StarCraft. Hope you enjoyed the cast, guys. Go ahead and leave comments down below, and I will catch you in the next cast.